Member for McKellar.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Immigration and Border Protection. Can the minister update the House on the importance of strong and consistent border protection policies? Is the minister aware of any alternative approaches?
The Minister for Immigration and Border Protection.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. Now, funny that the member for Grayndler should interject. Talking about the budget, he's got a great interest in the budget, hasn't he? I might take the interjection if you don't mind, member for Grayndler. So he's talking about the budget. Well, what we've done in this budget, member for Grayndler, is in this portfolio we give money back where we've closed detention centres. When you were in government and all of the front bench here were sitting around the Gillard or Rudd cabinet table,
the minister will just
Mr.
refer
Speaker,
to members by their correct title.
What happened in that day, of course, was that they ploughed billions of dollars into opening detention centres. They ploughed billions of dollars into offshore detention centres. They put more money, after having originally cut money from the customs portfolio, they ended up having to put more money in to deal with the dilemma of having unravelled John Howard's successful policies when it came to border protection. Now, it is interesting that the member for Grayndler has taken such an interest in budget matters, because we've seen his comments over the course of the last weekend, and it casts our mind back, Mr Speaker, to the glory days of the Rudd-Gillard-Rudd years. Because it wasn't just in border protection when the member for Grayndler and the Leader of the Opposition were cabinet ministers in that particular government, when they made decisions around this portfolio, but many other matters as well, including, of course, the pink bat scandal, which was only a $2.5 billion waste. There was $16 billion that they wasted on school halls. But you know, Mr Speaker, in relation to this particular portfolio, the figure so far is up to $13.9 billion, money that we could use to pay for the NDIS, money that we could use to put into schools or into the health department, but instead we are spending money even today on cleaning up Labor's mess in the border protection portfolio. So what you can be assured of, Mr Speaker, is that under this government we will continue the policies that have seen children out of detention, 8,000 children in detention under Labor, 17 detention centres open. We have closed those detention centres and got every child out of detention. We have presided over a model which has not seen a single person drown at sea. 1,200 people drowned under Labor's watch, and if they are voted in at the next election, the division that we've seen between the Leader of the Opposition and the member for Grayndler will continue if Labor is elected and into government, because that is what happened last time. And we know it's still happening behind closed doors today, where the member for Grayndler is promising the left of the party a very different policy on border protection if he becomes Leader of the Opposition. That is his plan. It's part of his pitch. It's what he told, Mr Speaker, the National Conference of the Labor Party. He opposed the Leader of the Opposition in relation to boats. And one thing that's certain in this place, Mr Speaker, is if the Labor Party win the next election, they will dismantle the successful policies that have cleaned up Labor's mess. There is a lot more to do.